He was the fast-talking car dealer who helped turn rusted wrecks into roaring classics. And along the way, Mike Brewer built Wheeler Dealers into a global automotive empire. But behind the charm, the deals, and the glossy garage doors, there's a story fans were never told, a sudden feud, a shocking departure, and a backlash so fierce it nearly destroyed him. Why did Ed China really walk away? What role did Mike play? And what secrets from behind the scenes have remained buried until now? This is the untold truth of Mike Brewer. From his rise as a street-smart car trader to the silent war that shattered one of TV's most iconic partnerships, and the dark fallout that nearly cost him everything. Get ready to uncover the drama, the tension, and the truth that's been hiding in plain sight. Before we dive into the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more videos like this. Now, let's get into the video. Before he became the face of one of the most successful car restoration shows on television, Mike Brewer was just a South London lad with petrol in his veins and a sharp tongue that could sell anything with wheels. Born on August 28, 1964 in Lambeth, London, Mike was raised around cars from day one. His father, Roger Brewer, ran a car customizing shop, and young Mike spent much of his childhood surrounded by hot rods, grease, and roaring engines. He didn't fall into the car world by accident. It was his inheritance. But where his father excelled under the hood, Mike had a different gift: salesmanship. He had the charm, the wit, and the confidence to make deals happen. That gift would carry him further than any engine could. As a teenager, he worked as a car trader, flipping secondhand vehicles and mastering the art of negotiation. He could talk cars, talk people, and more importantly, talk money. His hustle was relentless, and soon that magnetic personality caught the attention of television producers looking for someone who could talk shop and captivate an audience at the same time. His first real break came with shows like Deals on Wheels and Pulling Power in the late 90s. Audiences loved him. He was brash, fast-talking, and knew his stuff. He wasn't just a presenter pretending to like cars. He lived and breathed the industry. But Mike Brewer wanted more. He didn't just want to be a face on TV. He wanted to build something, a show that combined his passion for the deal with the magic of car restoration. Something different, something lasting. In 2003, that chance arrived. Partnering with Discovery Channel, Mike pitched a new concept, a show where he'd buy beat-up cars, bring in a mechanic to restore them, and then flip them for a profit. It was simple. It was honest. It was Wheeler Dealers. The only thing missing was the right partner to turn wrenches and bring these machines back to life. That partner would be Ed China, and together they would change automotive television forever. In 2003, Wheeler Dealers hit the airwaves, and television hadn't seen anything quite like it. At a time when car shows were either about flashy races or superficial overviews, Mike Brewer introduced a different formula. He wasn't just test-driving exotic supercars, he was diving into the heart of used car culture, showing viewers how to buy, fix, and sell classics for a profit. Mike's role was clear: find the car, spot the deal, and negotiate the price. It was a job tailor-made for him. With his Cockney charisma and razor-sharp instincts, he brought energy and accessibility to the car scene. But even he knew the show needed more than just a good dealer. It needed a mechanic who could earn the trust of viewers. Enter Ed China. Tall, quiet, and mechanically brilliant, Ed was the perfect counterbalance to Mike's high-octane personality. Where Mike was animated and quick-talking, Ed was thoughtful and technical. Their chemistry was unlikely, but it worked. It worked so well that Wheeler Dealers quickly became one of Discovery Channel's most successful shows. The early seasons focused on British classics, filmed in a small workshop in the UK. Mike would bring in tired cars, Minis, Triumphs, Fords, negotiate deals with quirky sellers, and pass them off to Ed. Ed would then take viewers through every gritty detail of the restoration, while Mike returned to close the sale. It was educational, it was entertaining, and most importantly, it felt real. There was no fake drama, no overproduced tension, just two guys fixing cars and making deals. The show struck a nerve with viewers around the world, inspiring thousands to try their own restorations. Mike was soon recognized not just as a presenter, but as a pioneer of automotive television. He brought the hustle and the human touch. Ed brought the heart and the hands. For a while, Wheeler Dealers was unstoppable, but as the show grew, so did the pressures, and the perfect formula was about to be tested in ways neither of them expected. As Wheeler Dealers gained momentum, the show's producers saw a new opportunity: America. In 2013, the production moved to the United States, and with it came access to a whole new automotive landscape. Classic muscle cars, rare imports, vintage pickups. The possibilities were endless. For Mike Brewer, this was a dream. The U.S. market was massive, and the move meant more screen time, bigger deals, and a broader audience. He embraced the change with full force, navigating the American car scene with the same confidence that had made him a star in the UK. Mike's negotiation skills flourished in the U.S. He talked down grizzled collectors, found hidden gems in dusty barns, and kept his finger on the pulse of classic car values. His personality translated well: loud, funny, and always ready for a deal. The American viewers loved him, and he loved the fast pace. But for Ed China, the transition wasn't as smooth. The intense demands of American television production, faster turnarounds, longer hours, and tighter edits were overwhelming. The step-by-step mechanical segments that once earned Ed praise began to get trimmed. Mike, always the businessman, adapted. He recognized the importance of evolving the show to meet new expectations. Yet, the more the show embraced speed and flair, the more it drifted from the original essence of Wheeler Dealers. Ed grew increasingly frustrated as crucial technical content was lost in editing. Still, the show soared. Ratings were strong, the fanbase became global, and Mike enjoyed newfound fame in the U.S. Car shows came and went, but Wheeler Dealers remained a cornerstone of Discovery's lineup. Behind the scenes, though, the partnership was beginning to fracture. The camera kept rolling, but the underlying tension became harder to mask. It was only a matter of time before things changed, and when they did, it sent shockwaves through the automotive world. In 2017, Ed China released a YouTube video that stunned fans. He was leaving Wheeler Dealers. Yes, I'm afraid it's true, and I'm really sorry. After 13 years of making Wheeler Dealers, I'm now going to be leaving the show. Calm and composed, Ed explained that his exit stemmed from creative differences. The network, now under the Motor Trend brand, wanted to cut down the time devoted to mechanical work, which Ed believed was the backbone of the show. Mike Brewer didn't see it coming. Certainly not like this. The announcement hadn't come through Discovery. There was no joint statement, just Ed, on his own, explaining to the world why he was stepping away. The fan reaction was immediate and harsh. Message boards and social media exploded with demands for answers. Many blamed Mike, assuming he had sided with the network, or pushed Ed out. The backlash quickly turned darker than simple criticism. Mike and his family received threats. Online abuse escalated to real-world fear. In interviews, Mike revealed that a fan once threatened to murder him, while others targeted his teenage daughter. The police had to step in. The experience left deep emotional scars. Yet, Mike maintained his professionalism. Though disappointed by how Ed went public, he never retaliated. My social media pages will be full of people saying, "Bring back Ed, you." And that be 7 years later. But I don't care. I respect his decision, he said. But I wish it had been handled differently. Privately, those close to the situation say Mike felt betrayed. For years, they had built the show together. He believed they owed it to one another, and to the fans, to bring it to a proper end. Instead, he was left trying to steer a ship that now felt half empty. The partnership that had defined a television era was over. And for the first time in his career, Mike Brewer wasn't cast as the hero, but as the villain. After Ed China's departure, the dynamic that had once powered Wheeler Dealers dissolved into silence. Neither Mike nor Ed publicly criticized the other, but something was clearly broken. Fans weren't just mourning the end of an era. They were analyzing the aftermath, searching for the truth. The most burning question remained: what really happened between Mike and Ed? Publicly, the story stayed respectful. Mike denied having any role in Ed's departure, and Ed claimed his exit was purely about creative disagreements with the network. But insiders said tensions had been brewing long before 2017. As the show expanded, so did the pressure. Mike, ever the showman, wanted to adapt to the needs of a growing audience and shifting media landscape. Ed, committed to transparency and technical integrity, reportedly resisted any changes that would dilute the show's content. Producers were caught in the middle. Whispers of disagreements over control, screen time, and creative direction were common. Some crew members noted that there were days when the two barely spoke during filming. Others suggested the real conflict wasn't personal, but philosophical. Mike was willing to make compromises to keep the show going. Ed viewed those same compromises as unacceptable. The silence between them only fueled the fire. With no farewell or reconciliation, fans filled the void with speculation. To some, Mike became the villain, the man who let television politics destroy a legendary partnership. To others, he was the one who endured, bearing the weight of a show that had to keep moving forward. Through it all, neither man revealed the full story. But behind the scenes, the once unbreakable bond had quietly, and maybe permanently, broken. Outwardly, Mike Brewer was still succeeding. Wheeler Dealers had a new co-host, ratings remained stable, and the brand stayed strong. But inside, Mike was unraveling. The abuse he endured after Ed's exit wasn't just noise. It was deeply personal. Once his daughter became a target, everything changed. Mike spoke in interviews about the emotional toll. Sleepless nights, police involvement, and the growing feeling that the very fans who once supported him now wanted to tear him down. "I became the villain overnight," he said. "I went from being the guy who made dreams happen to the guy people wanted to destroy." The show that once brought him fame now brought him anxiety, fear, and a darkness he hadn't expected. Those close to him said he even considered walking away. The joy was gone, replaced by dread. But it wasn't just the hate. Internally, the show was changing. Ant Anstead had taken Ed's place. Ant brought energy and technical skill. But comparisons were unavoidable. Fans were unforgiving. Every new episode was judged. Every moment Mike smiled was second-guessed. Behind the scenes, Mike battled panic attacks. Crew members saw he was more withdrawn, less sure of himself. He kept smiling on camera, but those close to him say the scars remain. Fame made Mike Brewer a household name, but it also isolated him, hardened him, and exposed him to one of the harshest public reckonings any TV presenter could face. Still, he carried on, because if there's one thing Mike Brewer always does, it's finish the deal. Once the dust settled, Wheeler Dealers had to evolve. Ed's absence left a void, but it had to be addressed. Enter Ant Anstead, a former police officer, professional, car builder, and skilled communicator. Ant added a fresh touch. He was hands-on, articulate, and easy to relate to, capable of breaking down complex mechanics clearly. Fans were skeptical at first, but many came around. While his chemistry with Mike wasn't the same as Ed's, it worked well enough to keep the show alive. Mike embraced this shift. He matched Ant's energy, found a new rhythm, and focused on rebranding the show for a modern audience. The repair segments remained, though they were now shorter, flashier, and aligned with Motor Trend's brisk pace. Eventually, Mark Elvis Priestley, an ex-F1 mechanic, joined as co-host. With Elvis, the show regained a bit of its British essence. He was knowledgeable and relaxed, less showy than Ant, but still more technical. Fans who missed the Ed China era stayed vocal. Mike, however, faced each transition with professionalism. He became the show's anchor, its constant. Though the original charm had faded, Wheeler Dealers held on to a loyal audience. Yet, it was no longer the same show. It had become sleeker, faster, more entertainment-focused. Mike reinvented the brand out of necessity, not to reject the past, but to safeguard its future. Still, each new episode carried that familiar refrain. It's good, but it's not Ed. And for Mike Brewer, that shadow never fully lifted. Despite everything, angry fans, co-host changes, and personal hardship, Mike never quit. While others might have crumbled, he kept the Wheeler Dealers engine running. And in doing so, he built a complex but undeniable legacy. The show kept evolving. New formats, new places, new restoration styles. Mike stayed at the core, giving interviews, attending car shows, signing autographs. His energy never faded, though the warmth from fans had been replaced by a sense of betrayal. He knew it would never be the same. He wasn't just a car guy on TV anymore. He was a symbol of a rift that still split fans, respected for creating something iconic, yet resented for staying after the one they truly loved walked away. And yet, Mike's persistence is something admirable. He never stopped fighting for the show. Even when people compared him to a used car salesman who lost the soul of the series, he kept grinding. Off-screen, he used his platform for more than profit. He started car restoration projects for veterans, supported small garages, and promoted classic car culture wherever he went. While others saw a tarnished legacy, Mike saw unfinished work. For him, Wheeler Dealers was never just a job. It was a mission. No amount of hate, no co-host leaving, not even the scars from a global fan war could stop him from honoring what he helped build. Because Mike Brewer wasn't just trying to preserve a show, he was trying to preserve his identity, his own. As the years passed, the question never faded. Will Mike Brewer and Ed China ever work together again? Fans have asked this in every forum, interview, and Q&A session. While neither man has completely shut the door, the chances grow slimmer with every season. Mike responded with cautious optimism. "You never know," he said. "Life's long. Maybe one day." But there's a guarded tone in his voice, a hesitation showing wounds that still haven't healed. For Ed, his stance is similar. Not cold, but non-committal. In rare interviews, he said what they built was important, but he also made it clear that his focus now is on independence and creative freedom. Some think it's pride keeping them apart. Others believe it runs deeper. Too many things left unsaid. Too much damage done? After all, their fallout wasn't just professional, it was personal. They weren't only co-workers, they were partners, brothers in the world of grease and gears. Their rise was shared, but their fall? That was faced alone. A reunion would take more than ratings or nostalgia. It would need reconciliation. And for now, there's no sign of that. Still, fans hold on to hope. Maybe a one-off special, a podcast, a shared build, even for charity. Something to bring closure, something to show that two men who once made car TV magic can sit together again, not as presenters, but as friends. Until then, all that's left is silence and speculation. Mike Brewer's journey is full of contradictions. He's a car dealer turned TV star, a fan favorite who became a target for criticism, a man who helped build something great, then got blamed for watching it fall apart. Still, he never gave up. He didn't step away from the spotlight. He didn't strike back at the hate. He just kept going. One deal, one episode at a time. For Mike, Wheeler Dealers wasn't just about cars. It was about proving he could take his passion and make it last. Yes, his chemistry with Ed China was special. Yes, the show changed. But Mike adapted. He evolved. He rebuilt. And that's something not many people in TV ever do. His story isn't perfect. It's not polished like chrome or filled with happy endings. It's scratched, bruised, and full of hard truths. But it's real. Above all, Mike Brewer is a survivor, a man who's been through the best and worst of fame, and who still shows up, ready for the camera, to do what he loves. His legacy will always be linked to Ed's. Their story of success, split, and questions left unanswered has become legendary. But Mike's story isn't finished. Not yet. While others focus on what was lost,